Hey, Becca here, and today on ALifeLearned, I'm going to talk to you about what it's like to experience chronic pain and illness, and some suggestions on how you can help loved ones who might experience such problems.
Ideas are bulletproof.
So you may be surprised to learn, but actually 20 to 30% of the population experiences chronic pain on a daily basis, and age is really not something that determines whether you're someone to suffer from it. I'm only 24, and unfortunately, I've been experiencing chronic pain for about 5 years now, so since my teens, not really an enjoyable thing. It's been quite an experience learning through how to manage and what to do in order to move on with life and not dwell too much. There's a lot of impacts on your body and your brain from having chronic pain all the time, and these are actually things I wasn't very aware of until I went ahead to make this video to talk about my experiences. I'm a little bit stubborn, and in learning a lot about biology and chemistry through university, I've learned a lot about not wanting to manipulate my body and put chemicals into it to change it. I'm really afraid of the effects that might happen. Side effects of medication are something that really make me scared. So I've avoided pain medication despite having fibromyalgia for the past 4 or 5 years. And I've also tried to avoid medications, though I've been experiencing high levels of stress and anxiety with my post-traumatic stress disorder. I genuinely thought that I was doing the right thing avoiding these medications, because for fibromyalgia and intense pain problems like that, they tend to prescribe things like tranquilizers, and well, I just don't really want to be the Walking Dead. So with that in mind, I've been just trying to put up with the pain. I'll take ibuprofens if it gets really bad, but I've been as far as suicidal. The pain's been so bad, and I still haven't wanted to take anything that intense as tranquilizers. But now that I've done this research and I've come to learn the effects of chronic pain on the brain, I'm actually going to talk to my doctor about other options I might have to deal with my pain, because I've actually come to learn that people who experience chronic pain have the gray matter in their brain reduced, because those who are in chronic pain are constantly emotional, to put it simply. The emotion parts of your brain are always active, whereas in normal people they tend to, be less active at other times when you're being more analytical. But when you're in pain all the time, you're just always emotional, always more heightened in feeling such things. And so with that, it wears down on those parts of your brain, that being the gray matter. And so in me trying to tough it out these past years, I've actually come to find that I've been reducing the gray matter in my brain, reducing the connectivity of the white matter in my brain, and overall reducing my ability to even tolerate the pain that I'm in. I have actually noticed that my suicidal thoughts have gotten worse as I've gotten sicker. When the pain gets really bad, I feel like I can't stand it at all. I just recently got over a terrible stomach attack from my stress and anxiety and gastritis and all other little things that haven't really been figured out. And the nausea was just so consistent that I was genuinely afraid of having to ever experience it again. And that's another thing of people who experience chronic pain and illness, is they really fear having to feel it again. It creates a lot of anxiety in them to have to ever experience this in the future, to know that it's going to happen again. This isn't the only time. As I just saw in an episode of House MD, House says, pain makes us make bad decisions. Fear of pain is almost just as bad a motivator. And it's true. We create these associations of how agonizing the pain was, and then we just don't want to go through it again. I've also come to learn that though I thought the reason I had trouble sleeping was simply because I was physically in pain, it actually turns out that the sensory part of the brain that experiences pain is also responsible for your sleep and wake cycles. So people who have that area of the brain shrink because it's overactive also experience difficulty sleeping or staying awake because they just don't have the same number of connections in their brain. So for that sense, it's that much more important to address the chronic pain that you're in. So of course, what I'm trying to say in all of this is that if you are someone who suffers from chronic pain or illness, depression, anything that really keeps you down, you aren't alone. I'm suffering, and lots of other people in the world are suffering too. but it's not a good idea to suffer alone and to just suffer without doing anything about it. I genuinely thought I should just stick out the pain because tranquilizers were worse. And I'm not about to go on tranquilizers, but finding some kind of pain management, something to relieve the pain for yourself, is necessary to maintain a healthy brain. And so to anyone who might have loved ones who regularly suffers from chronic pain or illness or anything of that regard, it's a very good idea to discuss with them the impacts of this pain on their brain and how them experiencing it every day makes them less able to experience it the following day. And so it's very important to find healthy ways to manage the pain. And with this, I also want to add, don't just take the pain medications that your doctor immediately prescribes you. It's always a good idea to do research. Find out what's going to happen to you if you take them. Side effects are something to be aware of. In my case, I've come to find that stress and tension really makes my pain worse. So what I'm going to talk to my doctor about is if he can find some kind of muscle relaxant or cream that I can put on my back and shoulders and arms to reduce the pain without directly taking something that's going to mess with my brain chemistry. So it's about finding what works for you without compromising your health at the same time. Nowadays, there's a lot of pill pushers, and so you do have to be aware of that. That's what created my fear of ever taking anything for my pain. But the idea of not taking anything at all is also just as bad a decision. Also, some other suggestions for things you can do for loved ones who might be suffering is just ask them what it is they need. Sometimes when it comes to depression, that's not the greatest thing. Sometimes they just need you to care and love them without being asked. But when it comes to physical pain, maybe it's that they can't ask for you to make meals for them because they feel that they should be independent and be able to do it themselves, but they're actually in a lot of pain having to do it. And so you offering to do the things that they might usually do for themselves while they're suffering would be a really great way to help, as well as always trying to remain optimistic and bring positivity into their life despite the suffering that they're going through. Always reminding them that they are loved and valued, that they are important to you, and that you want them to be okay, that you are there for them and you are willing to help them work through what they're going through in any way possible, is a really big thing. In my particular case, my fibromyalgia makes it really hard for me to lift heavy things, so my boyfriend always offers to take things up and down the stairs, or it makes it very hard for me to do chores sometimes, so I just won't do them and someone will offer to help me with them instead. So it's the idea of compensating and just making them not feel alone in the end. And with that, I just want all those who are in chronic pain to know that I do feel for you. You are not alone. I'm really sorry that my video was late this week due to being very sick, but got it out as soon as I could. I really hope that you felt it was a little bit helpful to those who have chronic pain, and please join me next week where I try again to share a little something I've learned in life.